The Las Vegas Strip is emptier than ever, and now a casino CEO finally admits why. It wasn't rising costs. It was a decision to price out Riff Raff with $25 blackjack minimums and $75 buffets. Dealers stand idle, workers lose shifts, and the promise of Vegas for all is dead. Why gamble here when the welcome mat's been yanked away? And what happens to a city that kicks out its core? The real reason behind Vegas's collapse is about to be exposed. Blackjack tables that once welcomed casual players with $5 and $10 minimums now sit empty, their felt marked with $25 placards even on slow weekday afternoons. On Friday and Saturday nights, the numbers climb higher, $50, sometimes $100, just to take a seat. The new reality is clear. A basic hand of cards now costs more than dinner for two. Casino hosts, the ones who used to greet regulars by name, notice the change. We used to have retirees play $10 blackjack for hours. Now those tables don't exist, says one, his voice edged with resignation. The numbers tell the rest. At $25 per hand, anyone hoping to play with a reasonable shot at fun needs a $500 bankroll, just to last 20 hands. That's before $1 goes toward hotel, food, drinks, or parking. For many, a simple weekend of cards now requires $2,000 or more. The Strip's operators insist this isn't about costs rising. Internal memos and earnings calls skip over inflation and point instead to a new strategy. Attract higher-spending guests, optimize every square foot for premium play, and let the rest fall away. The CEO's words echo through the empty pits. No apology, just certainty. We wanted a better class of customer, but what we got was an empty pit and angry dealers. On the casino floor, the consequences are impossible to ignore. Dealers stand by their tables, waiting for players who never come. Pit bosses watch as seats go unfilled, their eyes following the clock. The Strip, once famous for its energy and noise, now offers silence and vacancy. Off-Strip, local casinos still buzz with $5 and $10 tables, packed with players who once made Vegas their tradition. On the Strip, the message is unmistakable. If you can't pay, you can't play. The Strip's great equalizer, the buffet, has all but vanished. Once, families and strangers lined up together under neon lights, plates stacked high with crab legs and prime rib, for less than $15 a head. Now, the few buffets that remain have become luxury experiences, with Wynn charging $75 per person, and Bellagio close behind at $65. For many, the last affordable option disappeared when Luxor's buffet closed for good in March 2025. Treasure Island's doors never reopened after the pandemic, and Sahara's legendary spread is just a memory. A former buffet manager who spent 20 years watching crowds stream through the doors remembers the final days. Staff were told little, just that the closure was permanent. The mood in the kitchen turned somber as regulars came in for what would be their last meal. They didn't just close a restaurant, she says quietly. They closed the last place where Vegas felt like it belonged to everyone. In place of the endless line, celebrity chef restaurants now dominate the floor. The promise of all-you-can-eat for a fair price has been replaced by $45 entrees and $18 cocktails. Where retirees and honeymooners once shared tables, now dining is split by price point. Food courts for those on a budget, white linen rooms for those who can spend. For a family of four, a basic meal can run $200 or more, erasing the old magic of a city that fed the masses together. The loss is more than financial. Buffets were woven into the culture of Las Vegas, a place where everyone, no matter their background, could sit side by side. Their disappearance leaves a gap that no amount of fine dining can fill. Vegas forgot what made it special, and with each shuttered buffet, a piece of that shared spirit disappears. On a Wednesday morning, the Strip's sidewalks stretch wide and empty. Hotel towers flash vacancy signs, while inside, restaurants and showrooms sit in darkness. The numbers explain why. Friday and Saturday bring more than 75% occupancy. But by Tuesday, barely half the rooms are filled. For the people who keep the city running, this new rhythm is more than a statistic. A rideshare driver waits in his car just off Tropicana Avenue. He scrolls through his phone, watching the requests dry up. "I don't even come to the Strip Sunday through Thursday," he says. "Not worth the gas." On weekends, he can count on steady fares from tourists and partygoers. But during the week, the streets are quiet, and the cost of driving outweighs the promise of a few short rides. Inside one of the mid-tier resorts, a casino manager reviews the week's staffing chart. Dealers and housekeepers are scheduled for Friday through Sunday, then sent home for the rest of the week. Some find second jobs, stocking shelves, delivering groceries, or picking up rideshare shifts to fill the gap. The casino floor, once alive around the clock, now feels like an afterthought during the week. Monday through Thursday feels like we're a ghost town with lights on, the manager admits. Tables are open, but the seats stay empty. Restaurants that used to run 2 dinner seatings now barely fill 1. Shows that once played 7 nights now run 4, if at all. The Strip's fixed costs, utilities, security, maintenance, grind on, 7 days a week, even as revenue pours in only 2. Middle-class visitors, who once came midweek for deals, have disappeared. Workers who built their lives around the city's non-stop energy now scramble to piece together enough hours. Vegas was built on the promise of 24/7 excitement, but for those who depend on it, the 2-day city means a week spent waiting for the lights to come back on. Convention badges hang from lanyards in the lobby, rows of business travelers passing through revolving doors with rolling suitcases and company polos. The Strip's hotels are booked solid during trade shows, with room occupancy up 10% over the last year. But on the casino floor, it's a different story. Dealers shuffle cards for empty seats, and cocktail servers count the minutes between orders. The numbers tell the story. While convention attendance has climbed, leisure travel has dropped 11%. MGM's executives speak openly about the new priority. Why? Business-quality visitors now fill the rooms that once went to vacationers and regulars. Expense accounts cover steakhouse dinners and conference bar tabs, but these guests rarely visit the tables. A typical convention attendee checks in Monday, attends sessions, dines with colleagues, and leaves before the weekend crowds arrive. They don't gamble late, don't hit the shows, and don't come back for fun. The old Vegas tourist, dinner at the buffet, cards until dawn, return trips every few months, has been replaced by a guest who's here for work and gone by 10 p.m. A casino executive shrugs. "We're trading our most loyal customers for our most transactional ones. When conventions leave, what's left? The lights are on and the rooms are full, but the energy that once defined the Strip is missing." The city's bet on business travelers fills beds, but leaves the heart of Vegas, its gaming floors, strangely quiet. A loyalty card sits heavy in the wallet of a longtime player, its gold trim dulled by years of use. For decades, these cards were a promise. Play enough, stay loyal, and Vegas would remember you. Room offers in the mail, free play credits, the occasional steak dinner. That promise has been quietly rewritten. Caesars Rewards now demands 3 times the spending just to reach the same status as before. MGM Rewards, once generous with comped rooms, has slashed availability by 40%. A player who wagered $50,000 last year, someone who once received $500 in monthly free play, now gets $200 or less, if anything at all. The math is unforgiving. Comp rates have dropped from 0.5% back to barely 0.2. Years of loyalty, tracked hand by hand, now buy little more than a weekday room with a resort fee tacked on. Hosts, who once called their best players by name, now juggle 300 clients each. Their emails automated and their hands tied. "They spent 30 years training us to chase points and tiers," one disillusioned player mutters, then took it all away overnight. The betrayal is personal. The system that once rewarded devotion now demands more and gives less, leaving regulars to wonder what their loyalty was ever worth. In the quiet corners of the casino, resentment grows. The city that once made everyone feel like a VIP has turned its back, leaving its most faithful guests to count the cost of broken trust. A family minivan rolls past the "Welcome to Las Vegas" sign, but the parking lots are half empty, and the Strip's promise of affordable adventure is out of reach. The numbers reveal the truth behind the silence. Since 2019, Las Vegas has lost nearly a quarter of its middle-income visitors, households earning between $50,000 and $100,000 a year. These were the teachers, nurses, and electricians who piled into cars from Southern California or Arizona, making the trip 2 or 3 times a year. Their budgets were tight, but their loyalty was deep. A typical weekend once meant a $100 hotel room, $50 in parking, and a family meal at the buffet, $1,000 for memories that lasted months. Now, the same trip adds up to $2,500 or more. $200 a night for a basic room, $25 just to park, $18 for a cocktail, $25 minimums at the tables, and dinner bills that make parents wince. The math is unforgiving, and wages haven't kept pace. Southern California drive-in visits are down 18%, Arizona's 15%. The stories repeat. Families who want to return but can't justify the cost. "We didn't stop loving Vegas," says one mother. "We just can't afford to come anymore." The Strip's old heart, Middle America's weekend playground, has gone quiet. The people who built the city's energy are staying home, their traditions replaced by empty rooms and missed birthdays. The city's gamble on exclusivity has left its most faithful customers behind. A highway out of Phoenix leads to a parking lot packed with cars, families rolling suitcases past a sign that reads, $89 rooms, free parking, $5 blackjack. Inside, Talking Stick Resort's gaming floor hums with the energy Vegas once claimed as its own. In the past year, this Arizona tribal casino has seen gaming revenue climb 22%. The general manager, a veteran of the Vegas scene, stands by the pit and watches regulars. Teachers, retirees, young parents settle in for hours of play. "We learned from the best," he says, a hint of satisfaction in his voice. "Vegas showed us what people wanted. They just stopped giving it to them." At Sandia in Albuquerque, the buffet line stretches out the door. A family from Tempe, once loyal to the Strip, now makes the 4-hour drive for a weekend that costs half as much. The numbers add up: $15 for a buffet, $5 at the tables, free parking, and a hotel bill that doesn't sting. These casinos have taken the old Vegas playbook, affordable rooms, low table minimums, a sense of welcome, and turned it into record profits. The irony is sharp. While the Strip stands empty, its former fans are filling the floors of tribal resorts, playing the same games, chasing the same dreams, but without the feeling they've been priced out. The lesson isn't lost on anyone watching. The blueprint still works, just not where it started. A smartphone lights up on a living room couch in Ohio. With a few taps, the day's first bet is placed. No need for a flight, no need for a Strip hotel. This is the new face of sports betting in America. In 2025, 38 states allow legal mobile sports wagering, and the numbers are staggering. Over $14 billion in annual revenue, with DraftKings and FanDuel splitting most of the market. The change is everywhere, but nowhere is it felt more sharply than in Las Vegas. March Madness and Super Bowl weekends once packed sports books from end to end, the roar of the crowd rising with every buzzer beater. Now those same rooms echo with emptiness as fans stay home, betting from their phones or watching at local bars. Nevada's share of the national sports betting handle has dropped from more than a quarter in 2018 to less than 10% today. Casino executives admit the old monopoly is gone. The trip that once brought thousands to Vegas for a weekend of games, dinners, and shows is now a tap away for millions. The Strip loses not just the bets, but the hotel bookings, restaurant checks, and show tickets that used to come with them. Sports books, once the city's beating heart during big events, are now just another casualty of convenience. A crowd gathers under the glowing dome of the Sphere, cell phones raised, each person angling for the perfect shot. On social media, Vegas looks more alive than ever. Every night, a new post, a fresh backdrop, a caption promising the best weekend ever. But just beyond the camera's frame, casino floors remain quiet. The influencer's Vegas is a parade of bottle service receipts and neon selfies, not chips stacked high or cards in play. Operators have poured billions into attractions built for Instagram, hoping spectacle would bring back the crowds. The numbers tell a different story. Gaming revenue lags, tables sit empty, and the profits from nightlife and photo ops are a fraction of what steady gamblers once delivered. Across town, the scene changes. At Green Valley Ranch, a manager surveys his floor. It's a Tuesday afternoon, yet every $10 blackjack table is full. The restaurant buzzes with regulars who come for lunch and linger for another hand. Here, no one is selling an illusion. The appeal is simple: affordable games, familiar faces, a sense of belonging. Prices run 30 to 50% lower than the Strip, and the only line is for the next open seat at the tables. The irony runs deep. The same companies struggling on the Strip are thriving just a few miles away by sticking to the basics. Low limits, good food, a welcome for all. While the Strip chases the next viral moment, the real Vegas endures in its suburbs, proving that substance still beats spectacle when it comes to keeping the lights on. Today, the average minimum bet for blackjack on the Las Vegas Strip is $25, a figure that has more than doubled since 2019. Data shows that visitation by households earning $50,000 to $100,000 once the Strip's core audience has dropped 23%. Buffets that once served as social equalizers have vanished or become unaffordable, replaced by high-end dining. Meanwhile, regional and tribal casinos are thriving, offering $5 tables, free parking, and affordable meals. Mobile sports betting, now legal in 38 states, has removed Vegas's monopoly on gaming weekends. Despite executives insisting these are strategic business decisions, the evidence shows a shift away from the middle-class visitor who built Vegas's reputation. What remains unclear is whether the Strip can recover its inclusive spirit or if these changes are permanent. The facts are simple. The classic Vegas experience, affordable, welcoming, open to all, now survives mostly off the Strip. For many, the Strip's empty tables and shuttered buffets are not a mystery, but a consequence.